They say that the cream rises to the top. Well, after yesterday, the Eagles are the thickest, richest cream you got. Dallas still stinks. You're by the way, King Dingbat here, and happy Victory Monday to all you Dingbats out there. I hope each and every one of you guys are having a great day. Your Philadelphia Eagles are undefeated, undisputed, 5-0, number one in the NFC East, number one in the conference, number one in the whole National Football League, and they are just getting started. This team hasn't even started playing their best football yet, and I could not be more proud of this team and being a fan of this team. Now, we got a lot to talk about today, but before we get into it, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled, pause, Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, just double check, double moonwalk check. Make sure you're still subscribed. The bell's still notified. I'm getting people telling me they're not. I got majorly throttled last night during the Eagles stream. So check, because you never know. Now, gotta say this. Thank you to everybody who joined me for my 4 live streams yesterday. These cats are going crazy. We did 3 live streams of the football games, plus the post game with the Philly Shakedown. I think I went to bed at like 3:15. I laid in bed till about 3:50. I probably fell asleep around 4, and I was up at 5:15. I'm like a total zombie today, okay? Total zombie, but I still have a lot to say, a lot to think about. I'm going to do my best. First off, I could not be more proud of this team than I am. I just think that this team is a special team. The first team in the franchise history to ever start a season 5-0 2 years in a row. 2 mother humper years in a row. It's never happened in Eagles franchise history. And listen, your chances of making the playoffs at 4-1 is like 90-something%. 5-0, it's almost a sure thing. Okay? The Philadelphia Eagles are the best football team in the National Football League, I believe. I truly believe that. This is a team that has been winning games, not even playing their best football. And yesterday, I thought the second half of the game was their best football of the year on both sides. But still, there's a lot of room to improve. There's a lot of things that they still could do. But you know what? We are getting better each and every week, and that's what you want. Like I always say, we're not the Cowboys. You don't win in September. But this team is playing good. They're stacking and racking up wins, and eventually we're going to start to peak at the right time. But I could not be more proud of this team. I love the players on it. I love the personality of it. I love the coach. I love the head coach. I love the fact that he gets emotional. I love the fact that he's up there running down the sideline celebrating Hassan Reddick getting a sack. I love all that. I do. And I thought Brian Johnson coached his best game. He's getting better as an offensive coordinator. There's still some things I'd like to fix. You know, we got to clean up that red zone, okay? There's no question about it. That red zone is a pain in the butt. Teams are daring us to throw down at the red zone, and we're going to have to figure it out. I really, truly believe one of the main ways to fix the red zone problems is to stop putting Gainwell down in the red zone. Keep Swift out on the field in the red zone. I think that when Gainwell's there, I don't think teams are scared by his running ability. I think when Swift is out there, they are a little more worried about it. And obviously they're very worried about Jalen Hurts running down there. But I think the first step is get Swift on the field on the red zone. Make defenses be honest. That'll help. But they got to fix the red zone problem. So we saw Kelsey going off, and he's frustrated. He even said he's frustrated with the red zone. They're frustrated that they did not they did not perform the way they need to. So I believe this team will figure that out. It's just the next step in knocking off all the rust. I thought Jalen Hurts was absolutely fantastic yesterday. One bad throw is the only thing I can say. The one interception, but besides that, he was absolutely fantastic. Do you believe these people really try, especially Cowboy fans, like they always compare their players to our players, and it's not even close. I mean, Dak Prescott is no Jalen Hurts. It's not even close. It's not even close at this point. Jalen Hurts has the ability, when you need your quarterback, to put you on his back and carry you to the finish line. Jalen Hurts has that ability. Dak Prescott doesn't. Everything has to fall right for Dak Prescott, or he stinks. Okay, Mosley Smith. Remember the comparisons? They draft Mosley Smith. First, he's better than Jordan Davis, which isn't true. Then he's better than Jalen Carter, which isn't true. These people are crazy. Neither of those guys are anything like Mosley Smith. Both of those guys are way better. Jalen Carter is an absolute wrecking ball. He is a beast, and I believe that shot, that sack, a violent sack on Stafford, took Stafford out of the game. He threw him off rhythm, and that's what you really needed to do. And this is probably the area that I'm the most proud of the Eagles about last night. It's Sean DeSai. I said in my preview, Sean DeSai is going to win this game for the Eagles or not. It's going to depend on him. I said it in the preview. If he does not make adjustments from the first 4 weeks, they will lose this game. And in the first half, they didn't make the adjustments, but he did in the second half. And you know what? He made more adjustment in that second half than I think I've ever seen Jonathan Gannon make. Gannon might have done a few tweaks here and there, but Desai showed me something with the way he made the adjustments. He was not going to let Stafford continue to kill them. And he started getting to him, started pressuring him, started challenging Stafford and those receivers to have to go downfield, and it worked. And the Eagles need to do more of that going forward. But that's probably what I'm most proud about last night, is that Sean Desai showed me signs of life. He actually made the adjustments, and the Eagles won the game. And when you get this version of the second half of the Eagles that we got, nobody, I don't believe anybody's going to beat them. I just don't. Okay? Now, you could say, well, maybe the Miami Dolphins, maybe the 49ers. We'll see. I'm not really big into doing, if you've ever noticed, I'm not really big into the weekly top 10 rankings and shit like that. To me, it's just overblown. But if I had to do the rankings right now, you'd have to put the Eagles, Niners, and the Dolphins as the top 3 teams in the league. And we're going to play 2 of those teams. There's no question about it. The NFC is a wide open conference, but there's really only 2 teams that I think have a real shot at going to the Super Bowl. Eagles and the Niners. I think the Detroit Lions are an upstart team. They're coming up, but it's going to come down to Eagles-Niners. And fortunately, we play the Niners at home later on in the year, which is going to be absolutely the biggest game of the year. The 49ers absolutely destroyed. I mean, they took the soul out of the Dallas Cowboys. There's nothing else you can say. They took the soul out of them. That was an embarrassment of a loss by the Cowboys. We're going to find out with the Cowboys if they have any heart next week, because they're going to play a Chargers team that, to me, is much like Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, a team that when you play in primetime always come up small, always come up tiny. So we'll see if the Cowboys rebound against them. I think they're catching a break in playing the Chargers. But Dak Prescott, way overrated. That Pollard don't look good. Coaching staff don't look good. Dallas stinks. And Eagles are now 2 full games ahead of them in the division. Now, I know some of the people are already worried about the conference of getting that number 1 seed. You got to take care of your division before you can take care of the conference. But we keep building this lead up. We keep stacking wins. Yeah, of course, you got to root against the San Francisco 49ers. But I think that Eagles-Niners game, it looks like we're setting up for a huge game, a huge showdown. And listen, the Niners and the Eagles have two things, and I said this in my victory celebration cigar video. They have two things. Both of them have good offensive lines and good defensive lines. And that is what makes those teams tick. So it's going to be a hell of a matchup. But I couldn't be more proud of this team sitting at 5-0. There are things, like I said, the red zone offense, horrible. QUEZ Watkins, dude. I still don't understand. I still don't understand how he didn't get a first down on that pass. He should have 5 yards at least. He ran right into the defensive player. I mean, Nick Sirianni was pissed off, and he should have been. But I think Oz is your number 3. I think they need to let QUEZ be your 4th, because Oz would have made that play. I thought in the games and what we saw of Oz so far, I thought he's been much better. And you look at the wide receiver position, I'm not totally unconvinced that the Eagles could go out and trade for a wide receiver. I think it's very possible. I believe Howie Roseman is going to make a move. I completely think it's going to happen. The question is, what position? And I think it's either safety or wide receiver. And I think there's also a side shot at another pass rusher. The Eagles love pass rushers. Derek Barnett does nothing. He does nothing. Every year I get told that he's going to break out. Where the hell is he? I don't see him. At least he hasn't had any penalties this year. I'll give him that. But I think the Eagles are going to make a move. And I think the 49ers are going to make moves. It's going to end up being an arms race between those two teams going into the playoffs or going to the trade deadline, because both those teams are 5-0 and they're both in it. I mean, these teams are legit contenders. So we'll see. But I could not be more proud of this team. I thought it was the best second half. Like I said, got to clean up the red zone. Got to do something about QUEZ Watkins. And I think you've got to start using DeAndre Swift more. He continues to impress me. He didn't have 150 yards, 180 yards, 190 yards. But, man, he made some great moves. He moved the chains. He caught the balls out of the backfield. DeAndre Swift is such a weapon. What are you doing, cats? What are you doing? What are you doing? DeAndre Swift's such a weapon. You have to use him. You just have to use him. And I think they got to use him in the red zone more. I'm going to go back when I get a chance and get some sleep under me, and I'm going to watch and see how many snaps DeAndre Swift is actually getting in the red zone. I know he gets some, but he doesn't get enough as far as I'm concerned. And I truly believe the offense at times stalls out when he's out on the field, because I think the defenses are not worried about Kenneth Gainwell. So I truly believe that. It's interesting. This team is such an interesting team. But I feel like the rust is knocked off. I think Jalen Hurts is looking like himself. And I really loved about Jalen Hurts, he wasn't indecisive when to run. He wasn't worried. He took off, man. He showed that he had the speed. He showed that he had the power and the strength in his running. And he looked really, really good. The Eagles, they got to play the Jets. I'm sorry. There's no reason you should lose to the Jets. All right? You shouldn't lose to the Jets. I'd play Zach Wilson just like I played the Stafford. I'd play the Jets offense just like that, because I don't think they can run on you, although they got some good running backs. But I like Garrett Wilson, but I don't think he's got a guy that can deliver him the ball. I would tee off on Zach Wilson. I think the Jets defense is pretty good. They'll probably keep them in it for a while, but they're not going to be able to hold up against the Eagles. Eagles should be 6-0 after this week going into that Miami game. That's the way it's got to be. That's the way it should be. Of course, I'll be streaming the Eagles game next week. I think we're going to do the Giants game next week. I think that's the first game. I think we're going to do Giants. Giants are on Sunday night. So we're doing Eagles, then we're doing the Giants. Then I think Monday night is Dallas. So we'll have 3 games again next week, and that'll be fun. Always fun watching Mark Holmes meltdown. I think he's going to lose it. Okay, I definitely do. I don't think he can handle it much longer, but there's a lot to be proud of. People have been asking me today in my word about DeVonta Smith. Let me be clear. DeVonta Smith is a top 5 wide receiver in this league. He is a top 5 wide receiver in this league. When you play on a team that is as stacked as the Eagles, you are not going to get the ball every week. It's just not going to happen. We've seen Dallas Goedert, who's a top 5 tight end in this league, not have but 80 yards coming in this game, and he was due. It was his game, and then you got to go with AJ Brown's a hot hand right now, so you have to continue giving him the ball. DeVonta Smith will get his. He'll have his big moments, and I'm not worried about him at all. He's a good dude. I think he's. Will you stop? What are you doing? Come on. I got this cat with this thing in its mouth, making noises. You hear it? Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? But I'm not worried about DeVonta Smith. Shout out to OPETA. I always feel like I'm leaving something out, and I don't want to do it. But my final thoughts for this game is the Eagles are fantastic. I think I talked about Jalen Carter. I thought Jordan Davis had a really good game. Quiet game, kind of. But, I mean, he made some great plays in the run. I thought he sniffed out a couple screen passes. And just the way he takes on blocks. These guys are going nuts. Just the way he takes out. They're all happy to see me because I came in for lunch to film this video. But, yeah, I thought Jordan Davis had a good game. Hassan Reddick, welcome back. I expect Hassan Reddick to feast next week. And that's how the Eagles usually do it. So, great win for the Eagles. Got to get ready for the Jets. And I don't think really too many injuries or anything came out of the game. We'll find out more later in the week. But with that said, 5-0. 2 games up on the Dallas Cowboys, and you couldn't ask for a better start to the season. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. I mean, what we have in Jalen Carter is just tremendous. I said that I think this guy is the closest I've seen to Jerome Brown since Jerome Brown, and he hasn't disappointed. He's every bit of that. So far, get this, Jalen Carter is number 3 among defensive tackles in sacks and tied for number 1 in pressures. Also, tied for number 8 in hits. He is not just one of the best rookies. He's been one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL this season, according to Zach Berman. I totally agree. One of the best defensive linemen in the National Football League. The guy's already a Pro Bowler. He's already there. And I think Jordan Davis has also been a Pro Bowler this year. How the Eagles got Jalen Carter is going to drive teams nuts for years. What a steal. Denzel Washington out.